Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scary Stories by the Campfire. We aren't your counselors tonight. We are our participants at this retreat as we cleanse our bodies of the negative. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Jason.
And yes, we are here to cleanse our bodies of the negative energy. Isn't that right, Jason? Gotta cleanse.
Yes, we are. We are going to be cleansing this evening. Everybody get your cleansing juice.
Cleansing juice.
Mine's an RC, apparently.
Cleansing juice.
Yes, cleansing juice. Get your cleansing juice. Yeah, and take a swig. Yeah, take a swig.
Now we got to finish these cleansing juices by the end of the podcast in order for it to work.
Yeah. So we gotta cleanse. Okay, so the movie that we are talking about, if you haven't been paying attention for the last couple seconds, is the movie called The Cleanse. And I actually picked this one, and I picked it on a recommendation from a coworker. He said he had seen this movie and we were talking about it, and he kind of explained the plot to me, and I went and decided, you know what? We should check it out. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this wasn't the most horror-based movie that we've seen.
This is probably the least horror-based movie that we've had on the podcast.
Well, Jeremy, I would say it kind of ranks with Identity.
Yeah.
Because Identity didn't, we made an exception, I think, for Identity, because Jeremy came to me with Identity and said, technically, because we say if it says horror in IMDb, then we can cover it.
Yep.
But Jeremy said it doesn't say horror, but it has been included on a bunch of these like top horror lists.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, it's a shoo-in. Well, we'll grandfather it in, right?
Plus, this is our podcast, so we don't care.
Yeah, we don't care. Next, it's going to be Scooby-Doo.
Hey,
because it has ghosts.
Hey, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Mwah.
That's a
chef's kiss of horror.
Well, we could get that second live action Scooby-Doo movie. Now that was horror. But this movie, when I looked at it, it said it was horror, but it said it was like horror comedy.
Yep.
But when I bought it on Vudu, because that's where we watched it, it was on Vudu, it said it was a comedy drama. So I'm like, ooh. And then when we actually watched the film, it was like, oh. I think we were like mostly through the film going, where's the horror?
Yeah,
Where's the horror?
IMDb has it as a comedy, drama, fantasy, but Rotten Tomatoes does have it as a horror/comedy.
I would say that there's a little bit of horror in there. It's just not enough to be like, it's not a slasher film. I think the idea with like the monsters and stuff is kind of like the horror element to it, but okay, so the premise of the movie, and it's a very, very simple movie. Okay,
it's very short too.
Yeah, it's about an hour and 20 minutes, I think is what it was.
With credits, yeah.
With credits. Which is nice. I can go for a short film sometimes. I don't need a really long 2.5 hour movie unless I'm really wanting to sit down and watch this thing. This thing moved at a decent pace. I do think that the hype that my friend was telling me about, kind of lured me in, and then I didn't get as much payoff because I was expecting killer monsters in the end, which we got like one.
Yeah, we got like when they killed the one dude that was out there for like the 4th time or something like that. When his finally killed him and dragged him in, and like all you see is like the hand. You get a second death with the girlfriend when she couldn't finish her drink and it killed her from the inside.
Yeah, so the premise of the movie is that these characters go out to this retreat, and what they're supposed to do is they have these four specially made bottles of this cleansing juice, right?
Cleansing
Ta-da!
juice.
And I'm pretty sure it's like within a day. It seemed like it had to have been like a day or over a course of time,
Yeah,
a
they
day or
take
two.
they no, they were drinking. They had to have all four drank by the end of the day.
Yeah. So, and they came in like these big mason jars, so it wasn't like and they were all specially tailor made. The lady who came out there and told him about it was pretty much like,
Actually,
okay, what you have to do.
I'm
Hmm?
so glad you brought that up because that's actually leads to my favorite scene.
That was just okay.
This one right here.
It did that to me too, but come on, let it out. What? Let it out. Out.
Let it out. All right.
It was just the most random thing in the world. Just the most
So
random.
these characters go out to this place and they're supposed to drink these four jars of stuff. And like I said, it's all tailored to each person. The rules is you drink yours, don't drink anything else with it. They have you can't have any sort of outside food. Um, I think all they had was like chicken broth that they could
Vegetable
drink.
broth.
I think they had chicken also.
I don't know. I only saw vegetable.
Oh, well. All I know is that they had like cans of broth in the cupboard, and that was what they had to drink. And once they got all four down, I guess they would start vomiting.
Except for that
And
one kid. He said he had it coming out of both ends.
I'm pretty sure they all did, but um, so they end up vomiting, and they're supposed to vomit out this stuff that would form into a creature. I don't think they actually vomited up the creature itself. They must have, because hers apparently she didn't even know about it. Just stayed in the sink and then it broke and it was just living underneath the sink. His noticed that his had like backflow, so he pulled the sink apart, got the pipe out, and found his. As our little background shows,
Yeah.
this is like what the little thing looks like. This is at least what it starts out as, and over time they get larger. And the premise of what they're supposed to do is once they get these things, they take it out to this spot and they're supposed to kill it. They're supposed to kill these creatures, and that is how the process works. Then you'll feel so much better. Now, this is where things get interesting. Because they were told that if they didn't kill the creatures, they would get bigger. And they would kill you. And this whole movie is based off of the idea of... And I mean, they specifically explain that, it's anxiety, it's depression, it's all these mental issues that you're pretty much throwing out, and then you have to kill it while it's still small.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will grow, and that's exactly what they were doing in the movie. Was that I guess if you have this creature and you are just a positive, loving person with no problems in your life, this thing is going to stay small. But once you start getting angry and stressing and anxiety and all this bad stuff comes back, it grows bigger and it becomes more violent. Um, it's and I was talking with my friend about it because I told him I watched the movie and we were going over some stuff about it, and we actually came to some pretty interesting conclusions on some of this. Like the main pair, um, Paul and
Maggie.
Paul and Maggie, right? They didn't they didn't have any sort of main chemistry in the beginning. Okay, they didn't have any sort of main chemistry at the beginning. Paul was a guy who was uh what would you consider him, Jeremy?
What do you mean?
I mean, the way he tells his backstory is that he had a fiance, he was living a good life, and then she ditched him at the altar. So he's like heartbroken, just kind of out of luck,
Yeah.
kind of just he. The way he describes is that when he talks about the people that he knows or whatever, he says that they tell him that he suffocates them. I guess maybe because uh, maybe he's just trying to find a decent person, you know. Maybe he thought he had one, and then she left, and kind of messed him up a little bit. Maggie, well, I had a lot of computer issues at that day, so. Uh, Jeremy, how did you like the film? You're not being very
I was looking at some. I mean, it wasn't bad. I don't think it was necessarily a bad film. Um, Apparently, Bobby Miller, the director and writer, this is his second movie in what he calls the trilogy of tears.
trilogy of tears.
I don't know what the first or the third is. It doesn't say, but that's apparently what it is. And
Huh.
look at you, Jason. You picked a single movie, and now it's
I want to see what these other ones are.
I don't know. He really doesn't have much going. Right now, his mini bio says he is a voice director now for Rockstar Games. But
I said the Cleanse trilogy of tears, and it says crying cleanses your body.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? So, like I said, the movie wasn't bad. The actors weren't bad. I didn't hate any of them.
I like the characters in here. I think the biggest thing is that these creatures are kind of like a representation of the characters themselves, because of course it's a part of them. It's the negativity that they have in their life. It's the like I said, the stress, the anxiety, the self words running together.
What?
But like Eric and what was his co-friend's name? Lily. No, Lily was the main lady.
Yes.
Laura.
Yeah, Lori.
Was it Lori?
Yeah, it's Lori.
Lori, yeah. So, um, Eric and Lori go out to the retreat, and at first you think it's for her. I mean, it is quite possible that it's for both of them. But at one point, she does state that they were out there to help him, to fix him. And Eric is just kind of he's kind of a jerk character. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And if you didn't know, he was played by what's the actor's name? Gallner. He
Yeah.
he was on
Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake.
yeah, and he was also in Scream. We haven't covered Scream yet, but he was in like the second to last Scream movie that we saw. He was also in The Walking Dead. So
Yes.
yeah, I remember seeing him there. Um, but yeah, he's just kind of this jerk character, and apparently he drinks his girlfriend's cleanse juice. Um, quite possibly because he was also drinking alcohol with his. So he would like drink his and then, you know, drink whatever he had in that flask of his.
Yeah, he was out there drinking alcohol.
But so the creatures pick up their habits and whatnot. Like Paul's was doing the little knuckle thing that he always did when he was nervous.
Yep.
Um, Maggie's would do the little face twitch whenever she was, uncomfortable. Um, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that Eric had a very self-destructive personality, in a way.
Yeah.
I'm
Definitely.
gonna go with that because his little creature, you see it one time on screen when he's out by like the lake or whatever, but he takes it back to the cabin and he's in there drinking his girlfriend's cleanse juice, and she's sick and not feeling good. And then he goes in and she's asking him, what the noise is with that creature or whatever. And he's all rude and disrespectful and whatnot. And then he goes in there, and apparently the creature, you don't get to see it on screen, but apparently the creature is eating itself,
Yeah.
which I thought was very, very.
You kind of cut out some. You thought it was what?
But he had a very self-destructive personality, and that's why the creature was kind of eating itself. Maybe he wasn't taking care of it. That could have been a thing too. But we also were talking about Paul's and Maggie's, right? So the guy who's running the camp shows up,
Yeah.
brings him down there. He's like, okay, here's what you got to
Ken
do, and he
Roberts.
explains. Yeah, he explains how the procedure is supposed to work, and he goes, okay, now you're gonna have to kill your creature. And they're like, yeah, we're not gonna do that because they're cute and they're adorable.
I don't think they are. They look like
And
little toads.
you don't think toads are adorable?
No. I don't think they're adorable,
No.
but I'm not going to go out and kill them either.
Well, no, but still. Um. So they took and he was like, he caught them as they were trying to escape the camp. And he said, "Okay, look, I get it. You guys aren't strong enough, which is fine. I wasn't strong enough. Lily here had to kill mine. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the creatures from you. We'll kill them, and you can go. You can take my car, and you can go wherever you want, but give us the creatures back." And they're like, yeah, no, because uh, the one guy we were talking about, the one who was getting abused by his, is it Fredericks?
Yeah.
Frederick. Yeah, that's Kevin James O'Connor.
Yes.
He was in The Mummy. I remember him being in The Mummy.
Yeah, he plays Benny.
Um, yeah.
He also is in Van
Uh,
Helsing.
yeah. Apparently, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I do not know. But exorcism at 60,000 feet.
Oh, Lord.
In- Interesting. Um, so Frederick is killed off screen in his cabin, and you hear this crash thump because like it seemed like Frederick was a very, I don't want to say a weak person because, these are all, he was a very self-loathing person, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the correct words because this is something that's, you can't just be like, oh, he's a wimp, type of thing. He had these issues. Like the monster was like, I think Paul heard some crashing, and he walked in there and found Fred lying up underneath some furniture and stuff, and the creature was like curled up in the corner up underneath the bed. He had like these tentacles and whatnot, and Paul's like, Fred, we probably need to get you out of here. And Fred's like, no, I'm just, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just kind of an idiot, type of thing. And he was very, very, a lot of negativity towards himself, which is probably why he didn't do anything with the creature beforehand. Probably why he didn't do it anyway, because there was some sort of punishment for him. But he ends up getting killed off, and it's kind of a funny scene because you hear this big crash, and then everyone looks over at the cabin, and he's lying there, and it's just his head sticking out. Like, it was about shoulder up to his head, and it's lying out there, and then the tentacle comes out, wraps his tentacle around his hand, just kind of pulls him back inside, and that's when Paul takes the keys and they drive off. Well, come to find out, their creatures had both been in the same bag, and they kind of mutated together.
It kind of looked like it reminded me of the thing from The Color Out of Space when the mom and the son fused together.
A little bit. But I think that happened because Paul and Maggie were now kind of having a bond together.
Yeah.
Their emotions were running together. So, Paul's worried about Maggie. Maggie's probably worried about Paul. So their two little creatures kind of fuse together and make this kind of bigger creature. And she's trying to soothe it because she doesn't know exactly that it fused together. She's just reaching into the bag. She's trying to calm it or whatever. And it attacks her. Paul crashes the car. He wakes up. She's out there beating this thing with a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's just pow, 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 pow. And Paul comes out there. And the creature's all wounded and it's sad looking. It's just, and Paul wraps his hands. Now this is funny because, well, it's not really funny, but it's just interesting because the actor who plays Paul is, what is his name? Johnny Galecki?
Yeah.
Galecki? I don't really remember how to pronounce that last name, but he's been in quite a few things, including Roseanne and
I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Bang Theory. Yeah, he was in I Know What You Did Last Summer. And Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
But it's just interesting because I've never seen him in like a real violent thing. And he just reaches down to this creature and he just starts choking it out. Just, and he's crying. He's just angry.
You mean like this?
And then Maggie.
Ah!
That poor thing.
And now we have scarred everybody because we just showed them somebody. The poor creature getting. Look, it can't be as bad as scarring as what we showed last week with my favorite scene from Death Spa.
Just No, he wasn't. I don't think he was trying to separate them. I think he was literally just trying to choke it to death.
Yeah, I think.
Which is also, what was that?
I was gonna say I think he was choking his and she was choking hers.
Yeah, I think she was he started choking his, and she just kind of came over there and started. I guess they figured that would be. So they really didn't have anything to really. Apparently, the rock wasn't working, but it was funny because he reaches down, he starts choking or whatever. When we're watching the movie, I go, oh my goodness. He just talked about how people will tell him that he suffocates them. And now he's literally suffocating his negative monster creature thing.
Which is good.
It kind of ties over. It ties over very well. So it's just interesting to see stuff like that happen. And now here comes Jeremy's least favorite part. The creature's dead. They stand up. Paul and Maggie stand up. They hug each other, and that's the end of the movie.
God, this ending is terrible.
Okay.
This ending was so bad.
Me and my coworker who recommended this, we both agreed that the ending of the movie was shortcut. Because I'm kind of invested. I'm like, okay, what happens to Eric? Last we saw Eric, he was sitting next to his dead girlfriend, right? Because apparently she only took some of her cleanse, and apparently I guess you need to take all of it before you start really vomiting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't, so it was just, I guess, building up in her.
Yeah, and it
whether she
ate her
had
from inside out.
Oh, did it?
I mean,
there wasn't any blood or anything.
You're talking about Lori?
Yeah.
Yeah, it ate her from the inside. That's why she was all black. It mutated and ate her and infested her body and.
Well, good thing you caught that because I must have missed that. But yeah, so she was dead, and last we see is Eric there sitting next to her in bed crying.
I want to be with her.
Yeah. So that's the last you see of them. Then you have Lily and Ken, who, last we see them, they're have their keys taken, and Paul and Maggie disappear, and that's the last you see of them. So, a portion of a part of me is like, I want to see what happens to the rest of these characters.
Me
too.
But
But as we were discussing, it's okay because it's not their story.
I don't care. You can't get me invested. You can't get me invested in characters and then just drop them off the face of the earth. Okay? It's not like characters, I like they're part of their thing.
It's Paul.
I want to see what happens with what was his name? I already forgot.
Eric?
Yeah, that one. I want to see what happens with Eric.
The angry boyfriend?
Yeah, I want to see what his life is like afterwards, now that his girl's dead.
Oh, we know what life is like afterwards, Jeremy. He drives around in a muscle car.
And? See, Jason froze right now, which is quite funny because he's going to make fun of Eric, and now he can't. Boo, hoo, hoo. But while we wait on Jason to come back.
Oh my God. Seriously?
There you are.
No, I was trying to make fun of him. I was just saying that he drives a muscle car.
And
I can't spoil the movie.
Well, you see, when you said that, that's where you froze. And I was like, oh, look, Jason can't talk smack about Eric. Why? Because it made him freeze. Boo freaking who.
Wow. Or he becomes a dream warrior. You take your pick. But not the Dream Warrior from Dream Warriors, because they were useless.
I know, I remember that. We love that movie, but they were absolutely useless.
The Dream Warriors! And they all got picked off real fast because one of them could finally walk in his dreams. And he was useless. We're always gonna come back to that. But yeah. But I mean, the movie is. I thought the movie was good. I liked the movie. I didn't even
I
at
didn't.
first. I didn't.
I
I
didn't
didn't
think
like
the
the ending
movie
too
was
much.
bad. I didn't think the movie was bad. I just thought the ending sucked.
I I was expecting the way he was talking. I was expecting a little bit more. Ta-da! A little bit more. Wow! But it was more just of like a drama with
Meh.
some comedy thrown in there. It was. I think there's. It seems like there might be a lot of commentary on like mental health and stuff in it,
Yeah.
and it's done in such a way that it's very just kind of like, you know, you don't want to hold all that in and whatnot. You want to let it out essentially, blah, get rid of it, and in the physical sense, kill it off. Because if you hold on to it, it grows and it just destroys, and it's not a healthy thing. Which brings me to a question.
Okay.
So they vomit the creature out. Now this is how it's supposed to
Bleh.
work. You vomit the creature out, you kill the creature, you feel better. Makes sense because that was all the bad that was in you. Blah. And then you kill it off. You don't have no more of that bad.
What
Does that mean
happens
you
when you
just?
leave?
I was just about to say, over time, does the happiness just kind of go away, and you have to kind of do this again, or do you just permanently get to be like, yay, no more stress ever again? I'm stress free, I'm anxiety free, I'm depression free, or whatever, just for the rest of your life.
I
I
don't
hope they
know.
didn't have to pay for anything.
Well, my other question is like, so they're this creature comes out, and why is everybody so whimsical about it? Like, what if somebody like they spew it out, it pops up, and they're just like, oh crap, what the hell is that? And they just beat it till it's dead right then and there. Is Lily
Well,
gonna
then I guess
like
they
pop up?
did the.
Is Lily gonna pop in the door and be like, you skipped a few steps, but you're good now?
Yeah, you're good. You're better. You beat the thing, da, 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 and you're like, ah. Yeah, that is a kind of a big thing. Cause I mean, well, you experience it more from Paul's point of view, where he doesn't know what to do with it, and then he tries to feed it chocolate, and it reaches out and touches his hand. It's all cute. It's like a Yoda.
It looks like a morphed tadpole with legs. It looks like the stages of a frog. That's when he's transitioning from a tadpole to a frog. But he hasn't fully
Yeah.
made it to the frog yet. He's still got a lot of
What, what, they,
tadpole
no,
in him.
what do they call that? That stage?
Evolution.
It's oh God,
I,
no.
I know.
It's an actual
We made that joke
it,
during the movie.
a pollywog.
There you go. It looks like a pollywog.
A pollywog. Wait, a pollywog is a tadpole. I don't make. I don't want to see. The tadpole is the larval stage. I think the pollywogs are the ones that actually have legs.
But they
They
still
actually
look
grow
like a
like the
tadpole.
Yeah, they're tadpoles with legs essentially.
But
But yeah.
we made the joke that like from the movie Evolution, he's gonna evolve into a
Yes,
funny no-nose chimp out of the meteorite.
yes, we did actually talk about the evolution, because the first time you see it is the special effects on it, uh it looked very like
It looked like a
evolution.
slug.
I don't think Evolution is not a horror movie, sadly. I don't think.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, I love that movie. Um, but yeah, so I mean, the movie, I like the movie. I don't mind the first time when I saw the ending. Oh, Yeah, I kind of agree. The ending was kind of short. I didn't really like it that much. But then now I got to realize it's like, that's okay. Because you don't really have to know what happens to them. You know? Do they live together? Do they become friends? Do they move in? What goes on with them? It doesn't matter. The stress and the anxiety of this stage of life is now gone. They get to move on to a newer, more positive light. So, except for Eric. Eric is probably going to eat himself.
Yeah, and Evolution is a sci-fi comedy.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any horror involved in it.
Which sucks, because that's a great movie. Not,
Plenty of great movies.
it's not that good
Plenty.
overall. It's just
What?
fun.
Yeah, okay.
It's not a good movie, but I like it.
It's not a good movie. It's a great movie. We actually just watched it not too long ago.
Oh,
Finally got to watch Free Guy.
Free Guy?
It's good. Yeah, Free Guy.
Oh, with Robert Downey Jr. Or not Robert Downey Jr. Ryan Reynolds.
Wow. Yeah. Wrong Marvel hero.
Eh.
Goodness gracious. I'm not. I mean, I'm not.
I was about to say, PJ, what do you mean? So, what would this be something you would do? Would you go on a retreat like this if you knew what was to be expected?
You know what? I don't have a problem with like vomiting. I don't think I would have too much of a problem with that. Probably the killing of the creature. That would be the hardest thing for me because I've, never purposely killed anything. I hit a duck one time with a truck, and I felt awful about it for like a week. I never even got the truck fixed. It still just got like the busted up grill on it. And it's my remembrance of the duck I hit. I don't even think I killed the duck. The duck didn't die. It bounced off the front, and
They
I
did
was
it.
like, oh my god, I hit a duck.
So,
And I never saw the duck again.
so somebody's watching the podcast, but they don't have the app, so they don't have an account, so they're like a guest, so they can't talk in the chat or anything like that. But they just texted me, said it looks like a pollywog with a bad toupee.
Yeah, it's got like the little fuzzy hair. Wait, whoa. Yeah, so the pollywog with the little fuzzy hairs on top. Are you telling? Okay, you say a great movie? No. Are you talking about this movie, or are you talking about Evolution? Because if you're talking about Evolution, we're gonna have problems.
I think they're meaning that a great movie to that one. But do you remember that one? Because that Eric had, where it had the little mohawk.
Yeah, he had. Oh yes, Evolution is awesome. Yeah, he had like a little mohawk. I call that one like reboot Spike from like Gremlins. That was like the. Yeah, this was like Gremlins, the movie that we didn't need. Gremlins remake.
God.
Where instead of just buying a Mogwai, you throw them up. Oh, okay, so now we are ready for what?
Say what?
What are we ready for? We're ready for I think it's getting to be about that time to
Oh,
do
it is.
our-
It is
do our-
time. It's time for my favorite part of the segment, the cleansometer.
I was gonna say the polywogometer.
That one's a good one too.
Polywogometer.
Oh God. It's sad that every episode we find something new to say or call it.
Yeah, this would probably just be the cleanse meter.
But so let's start with the IMDb. So for everybody new that's on, if there is anybody new, the way this works is we do IMDb rating, and we do the tomato meter for Rotten Tomatoes and the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes. We play Price is Right rules, where you want to hit the dollar and be under. And we have seen it where people have been sneaky and going, Jason's like, I put a 5.1, and somebody else is like, oh, well, mine's a 5.
Yeah, I am a dirty little cheater sometimes.
So, with IMDb, with 4,000 votes on a scale of 1 to 10, Jason and people at home, what do y'all think people voted for the Cleanse?
I am saying it is a 6.3.
Thick point 3. Thick point 3. And we'll give everybody else a... PJ says a 5.7. And we'll give anybody else playing at home.
Is Pollywog Tupee putting in a vote?
Let me find out. Are you putting in a vote? Scale of 1 to 10. Yeah, it Pollywog Tupee.
Yeah, that's their new screen name from now on. Pollywog Tupee.
Oh god.
Oh, maybe that'd be my new gamer tag.
Pollywog Tupee.
No, that I'm gonna create a filming company. That's what the filming company is gonna be called. Pollywog Tupee Films.
Alrighty. They're not putting in a vote for this one. So, is Ravenfire putting one in?
I think she is sleeping at the moment.
Coolio. Well, I can't compare y'all to anybody because only 2 people died.
Okay.
So Jason, you're Fredericks. PJ, you're what's her name?
Lori?
Yeah, you're Lori.
Okay, so we both just died.
Yeah, I mean, that's about it. It was a 5.1 out of 10.
Ooh.
Kind of funny I gave you the answer earlier.
Did you?
Yeah, because when I said earlier, when I was giving instructions.
I don't remember. Oh, I had to unplug my headset. It was doing that weird thing again.
Look at you. So, now we move on to the cleansometer. And this is on a scale of 1 to 100. So, the cleansometer is critic reviews. Jason.
Yep, I'm going with a 63. I'm not changing mine. I'm just taking away the decimal. A 48? Come on, this movie wasn't that bad. You're talking about, like... Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6.
Part 6? Good lord.
Yeah. Oh, wait, maybe I'm thinking of Friday the 13th. I'm thinking of Friday the 13th Part 6. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. It's one of the later stages of those main franchises.
Hold on, I might have a guest coming in.
Oh, a guest coming in. A new challenger approaches.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I'm about to have it coming through on my phone. I'll type it in.
We push this episode for maybe another 40 minutes, and we'll match the length of the movie.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Looks like they won't. So, neither one of y'all died, which is good, because I've already used the 2 examples.
Jason,
But
you're Fredericks.
um, it was actually a 79.
Is this? Ooh.
This one was a 79. So Jason, you are the closest. Good job. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, technically, PJ would have died. That's what happens. We usually kill off the people who are lower.
That's true. Mom, you're Lori
So,
again.
You get to be the mutated pollywog toupee. Get choked out.
No, God.
There you go. So there's the third one. Got it. Taken care of.
Oh, right. And now time for the audience score.
Oh, audio. I think with the movie kind of like this, it's going. I'm gonna go with a 56 because I think fans are gonna be as into it as much because it deals with. I mean, they deal with important, sensitive matters, but they do it in such kind of like a kind of way. You know, it's not like some of those, what they call them, uplifted horror movies, where they talk about, you know, depression and self-harm and stuff like that, and they do it in such a artistic way.
Yeah.
When you have something like this, where it's like, oh, yeah, all your negative emotions are just this little frog thing.
Jason, guess what?
What?
It's coming back.
Hmm.
While we wait on somebody to finish, they've got a new Saw movie coming out. I want to play a game with Tobin Bell coming back to play Jigsaw
My God.
again.
Breaking news, people. You heard it here. There's another Saw movie.
Which means the trap meter's coming back.
Jesus. You know they killed him in like part 3. And he's in every single movie still.
PJ's like, yay.
No, not yay. When are we gonna stop? When are we gonna stop?
When Tobin Bell actually dies, they're gonna carve on his tombstone Jigsaw. I want to play a game.
Your movie series gets canceled while it's good, or you stay around long enough to be bad.
The last Saw movie wasn't bad.
No, actually, the last Saw movie was really good. Probably because they made him a good guy. They're like, how do we make people vote or like root for this killer? Oh yeah, let's put even more terrible people.
Yeah, they did. All right, audience score. Sorry. Jason, you are Eric's pollywog. You ate yourself. No.
See, we could really scratch out some death here.
Mom, you're Maggie's pollywog. You got strangled to death.
Just the other one. Oh God, how low was this?
Audience score is a 36%.
Yeah. I can see that. I don't want to see that, but I can see that. I can see why people didn't take to this movie. I mean, it's not a big flashy movie.
It's really not, but it's still good in its own right. I just hated the ending. I would watch it again.
I think it's kind of like Hereditary. Eventually we'll get to that one, but Hereditary.
Uh-oh.
I remember when it came out, or said it was like this generation's Exorcist. And I remember how people used to talk about The Exorcist. Oh my God, this is just horrible movie. Not horrible as in the sense of it was a bad movie. It was horrible in the sense of its content. I'm like, ooh, I want to check that movie out because I'm still on the hunt for a movie that will actually scare me. And I'm not talking about those silly little jump scares that made me go, okay, that was unpleasant. I want something that'll scare me to the core.
Human
And
centipede.
oh god, no, that's just gross. Ain't nothing scary about that. Ain't nothing scary. I mean, it's gross. Ugh. But I ended up watching Hereditary, and I even got through that movie, and I was just like, it's not really that scary, but it was good. Very slow in the beginning. I thought I wasn't gonna make it through, and then it all went downhill, and I'm like, I'm glad I stayed on board for that. Kind of like this one. It was very slow in the beginning. I was expecting, maybe something to really blow up at the end, but it didn't, per se. And I'm okay with it. I don't think this movie needs some sort of ruckusy, monster knocking down cabin doors and choking people out or doing whatever it does, eating them because it had teeth. He was teething on chocolate.
Well, we will see you all next week. Thank you for joining us. We will see y'all next week.
Yay.
Same time, same campfire. But it's... Do you want to say it, Jason?
You can go ahead and say it, Jeremy. You're all antsy for it.
It's Stephen King time!
Yeah, so the last Stephen King we did was It, right?
Yeah.
And we did that in 4 parts.
No, we did it in 3.
We did it in 4 because we did the Tim Curry version in 2.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We did the part 1 and part 2 for the newer one. So there's a 4-parter. This is my series that I picked. Another franchise that deals with grief and loss, apparently. But it too has 4 parts. So you got an original, a sequel, a remake, and then a prequel to the remake. So 4 parts.
Yep.
So, Stephen King. And no, it's not Maximum Overdrive. We'll have to do that one sometime.
Well, what's the one with the cats?
Oh, what is that? The cat people. It's like
Oh god, it's so bad.
I can't remember which one that is. Remember the one with the space meatballs?
Yeah.
The Langoliers.
And then you got Children of the Corn 1 through 7.
Oh, we saw one that was actually it was a short story written by his son.
Oh,
but he had a hand.
The Grass.
The Tall Grass.
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Yeah, that was on Netflix.
It's
I
good.
like that one.
That one's good.
Was crazy. I have to rewatch it because a lot of it confused me. But yeah, I like that one. That was good. We got to cover that one too.
Well, without further ado, let's go into Stephen King time.
What is this place? I brought you here to bury Alan's cat.
Daddy, is church alright?
Why, Judd? I have my reasons.
I dreamed he got hit by a car and you and Mr. Crandall buried him in the pet cemetery.
What did we do tonight, Judd? What we did, Lois, was a secret.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Has anyone ever buried a person up there?
May the Lord make his face to shine upon you.
You're thinking thoughts best not thought of.
Daddy's gonna do something really bad.
You're thinking of putting them up there. Don't deny the thought hadn't crossed your mind. Come back to me, Gage. Come back to us.
Paramount Pictures presents Stephen King's all-time best-selling tale of horror, Pet Cemetery.